It's a new day, it's a new dawn. It's April.
First day of April, that is. In today's video, we're going to talk about what does it really mean to support your spouse or your partner. Because support looks different depending on the situation, depending on the task, depending on the season of life. And it really means something when you can show up for your partner the way they perceive support. Because it's one thing to say, hey, yeah, I'm doing everything that I think you want me to do. But if you never actually communicated, how can I show up for you? What does support look like for you in this moment? Without that communication, it don't matter. You can be doing all the things, but if it ain't the one thing that actually communicates, oh, you were listening to me and my needs, and you're actually trying to fill a gap where I can clearly appreciate you for showing up. Now, I do have a question for you.
Mm-hmm.
What is one moment that you can recall in our 10 plus years together where you felt truly supported in the perfect way where you perceived support?
It's really top of mind right now, but definitely when I was in the process of buying this house and I literally lived across the country. I was living in Seattle and we knew that I was eventually going to be moving out here to Raleigh. So summer of 2019, we had been doing these open houses and we were just, frolicking around trying to get a sense of the different architecture and the designs and finishes that we actually enjoyed. And long story short, that passive search led to one of the realtors that we interacted with sending me this home that we're in now. Mind you, this was not our actual house because there were no model homes when Darian first came to see this house. It was nothing but a slate of cement, a slab of cement, and I hadn't even seen the neighborhood, what part of Raleigh it was in. It really was a leap of faith. And the only way that I could have any inkling or awareness of what our house could look like or, just where it was having Darian literally bike from campus, which is, how long was that, like 20 minutes?
It was about a 20-minute bike
ride. So 20-minute bike ride in the winter to come out here. We thankfully were able to have the builder's agent essentially was able to connect with one of the owners who had moved into one of the townhouses that was already done being built. And Darian had me on FaceTime on that goddamn iPhone.
Right,
it
so
only
it
had
wasn't
one.
this.
Yeah, as I say, it only had one camera.
It was a green iPhone 5C. Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah. And so I'm over here, squinting, trying to make sense of.
You ain't had to say squint
what we're looking at here, because is that the living room or is that the bathroom?
The camera wasn't that bad.
Anyways, so yeah, that was, and it wasn't just one visit. I think my dad came out here at some point too, because my youngest sister went to Chapel Hill.
And then both your parents came out.
And then both my parents came, and so Darian really was the most supportive partner that I am so grateful. Let me say that again. Darian was an incredibly supportive partner, and I'm super grateful that even though it was inconvenient and even though it required him to bike in the snow and, have conversations with strangers in order for me to feel comfortable putting down my earnest money, that was literally the only way that I would have felt comfortable going forward. Because honestly, if it was just our agent who was, recording or sharing his recommendations, he don't know me like Darian knows me, even though his last name was also Dixon, which is kind of
That's a
trippy.
fun fact. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, our agent's last name was Dixon too. But yeah, that was definitely a very pivotal moment of support that only you could have done. So, yeah. What about you?
A lot of times. But I'm going to pick the the shirt that I'm wearing, since that is a really recent event. So I ran a marathon. This was March, what's the date on here? Yeah, March 15th, 2026. First marathon ever. And when I tell you, this woman right here, she cares about your boy deeply.
And you.
Deeply. Going even back to training for it, not even talking about race day, but for training, she held me accountable. She was keeping tabs on my nutrition, keeping tabs on my running. She was like, I need you to not get hurt in this race. Then when it came time for actual race day, what time did you wake up?
I think it was like 5 or 4:30. No, it was definitely earlier than that. It was like 4 or something.
We were up at like 4:30. And this is after her staying up till like, what time did you actually go to bed?
Probably like 1.
This is after her going to bed at 1 a.m., having cooked and cleaned and hosted for my parents and my aunt and uncle who came into town the night before the race to support. So on 3 hours of sleep, this woman of God, she said, I'm gonna wake up with you and I'm gonna take you and get you to this race. She helped me with a little bit of, did you make breakfast?
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to remember what I ate for breakfast. It was eggs, avocado toast.
And rice.
Salmon.
And
the salmon, yeah. She made sure I was fed. She made sure that I made it to the race. She even got some pre-race footage for documentation. And you know what she did during the race? She was the navigator of all navigators, with pinpointing the specific spectator cross sections where she could see me, where the family could see me and support me with their amazing signs. And I can only imagine what it was like navigating traffic and trying to get all up and through that trail.
Because they actually didn't have many spectator points, and also a lot of them were closer to the start and stop point. But I literally was tracking you on Find My Friends and just being like, okay, where does the trail actually intersect with the road, and
this
how
woman was doing geometry on the fly.
literally, and
Where's
how
the hypotenuse?
What's the hypotenuse for us to get there as soon as possible? Sometimes I missed by like a minute, and we literally watched him like run past, and I was like, no! On to the next one. But there were also a ton of road closures too, so navigating that was a lot. But
And
it was,
traffic because of the road closure. People who didn't care about the marathon.
Yeah.
Who were upset about the traffic because it was a marathon. And then after the race, even mid-race, she showed me the literal snack pack of things. She literally was like, do you want popcorn
Or
mid-race?
pickles.
You want pickles mid-race? You need an extra pair of socks, a pair of drawers? Because I don't know, something could have happened when you was running.
Trusted the fart.
You trusted that fart, and it didn't pan out. She said, I got you. So that, and after the race, she took care of me. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Felt extremely supported. Felt extremely loved and cared for. And I perceived every ounce of support that you were giving. Thank you so much. Because without that, it would have been tough. That last, 19?
7 miles.
Yeah, last 7 miles. Yeah, that would have been tough. So, thank you.
You're welcome. Remember when you got your wisdom teeth taken out?
Yeah. That is another great example of showing up as a supportive partner, supportive spouse. Oh, we were married at that time. We were engaged.
We weren't even engaged.
Yes, we were.
Oh, we were? Barely.
We got engaged in March, and then I got my stuff taken out in July of 2022.
Oh, so it really
We
was
were newly
barely.
engaged, so, oh man, that's a whole other story for a whole other day. But if you want to see me getting my wisdom teeth out, that's actually on my other YouTube channel. You gotta search hard for that. So if you can find
That
it,
stinks that you don't have access to that video anymore.
I mean, I can find it, but they gotta search.
But like, you can't download it and post it.
Yeah, I'm actually thinking about digging back into the archives and seeing how I can get access to it from like the Alumni Legacy account backdoor situation from the underneath.
Trapdoor.
Yeah, because there's some pretty good stuff that I would love to repost, or at least just rip for storage for later. But showing up for your partner, for your spouse, it takes communication first and foremost. Asking, what do you need in this moment in time? Do you need space? Do you need time to breathe? You just don't want to be bothered? Or do you want a hug? Do you want me to get you some tea? Do you want to talk through things? You want to just sit down and watch Keeping Up with the Kardashians? I don't know.
Paradise.
Can't
Wait to watch that tonight.
You just want to, want to journal, eat some chips.
But you know what also helps? Actually taking the 5 love languages assessment and we haven't taken it in a while, and we're probably due for that, but that assessment helps out so much to understand not just like what love looks like, but what support looks like, especially if you want to do something for your partner and it be a surprise. Or like, for example, I know I told you about the roses.
You put them in the vase.
Oh yeah, they're finally in their vase. And this was a complete surprise that Darian came home with like a couple hours before we filmed, like 2 nights ago. And yeah, he knows that this was like an extension of one of my love languages and in how I like to receive love. And so if you are looking for a more concrete way where it's like, I don't know, if saying, so what does support look like for you? If that feels weird, start with the love languages, because then you can actually go deeper from there and get a bit more granular around the details regarding like how your partner prefers to be loved or supported.
And honestly, in that same vein, communication doesn't have to mean an explicit, tell me what support is in your definition. It literally can just mean just listening to the verbals and the nonverbals. If I'm listening, quote unquote, to Brienne's patterns, if I understand and witness how she feels about flowers, if I know that she'll buy flowers for herself, if I know she had a pattern of buying flowers for herself when she was living alone, then that triggers, she likes flowers, which means if I'm gonna get her a gift, flowers is a really good option. And getting her flowers by surprise, that is me listening to my partner, listening to her habits, listening to the nonverbal. Listen to the things that she'll bring up in passing, or when she's on speakerphone with a friend and they're just talking about like a thing that she's been thinking about getting, like a necklace or a bracelet or something. It doesn't have to be physical either. It can also be experience.
Like a 5, oh, I was gonna say, like a 5-carat tennis bracelet or necklace.
And experiences.
Like a trip to the Maldives
Okay.
in the bungalows that are like over water. Yeah.
See, if I'm listening, then in the future, if I get her a first class trip to Maldives, and then under her hotel pillow there's a 5 carat
Yeah.
5-carat bracelet, Freudian slip, in a 5-star bungalow.
Now we talking.
And now we're listening.
Now you gonna have a good old night. Every single night. Period. Cheers.
So, support looks different depending on context. And that's also really important to understand, because what support in one season may not communicate support in another. And it's important to update. Like the same way your technology updates, you need to update. Because what I look like with what's the latest iPhone?
17.
Cool. What I look like with an iPhone 17, but it's still operating on iOS 9.
It's not working.
It don't work. It don't work. So there's that. Y'all be blessed.
Yes. If you enjoyed this, please be sure to like and subscribe, and we will see you tomorrow.
Jesus.
Peace.